All right, folks, I took your advice. I brought back the fan favorite himself, Donny Rockett at iFucks with MMA. What's up, Donny?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I got about 30 comments on my freaking videos saying, bring back Donny. We want Donny. So you're back. Don't worry. You'll be back plenty more too.
Well, I love it. I love it. Boy.
And I don't know about, I think you had a pretty decent weekend last weekend. I could be wrong, but I had a miserable weekend. So you're going to help me turn that around as well.
Yeah, I had a good UFC weekend. Bellator. Oh man, kicked my ass, dude. Neiman Gracie getting finished for the first time, by getting knocked out by a guy with one knockout in his career. Man, I underestimated. I guess the speed advantage was there for the former 155er and the former 145er, and I thought Neiman being the true 170er. I thought he would end up getting the submission, but
bro, I think you just got to stop betting Bellator because you always be tweeting, man. You're like, I'm done with Bellator, man, because Bellator's wild.
No, that's PFL. Normally, Bellator is PFL. Fuck PFL or judging, man. It's just some craziness going on over there, but yeah.
So let's talk. We got some good fights this week. We got, first of all, tomorrow. Most people will probably be watching this tomorrow. So tonight, Dana White Contender Series, and then Saturday we have UFC 278, Usman versus Leon Edwards. I've been on a hot streak of interviewing Contender Series fighters. This week I didn't get a chance to interview any. Luckily, I'm interviewing a couple UFC fighters, which I'll be posting. But since I didn't do my research on Contender Series this week, I didn't have anybody from the show on. I'm really relying on you here. I didn't do my research. What are the plays for Contender Series this week?
Well, I think in the men's fights, I don't think you can go too wrong. Like maybe parlaying Ribeiro, the Ribeiro fight. He's like, this dude is crazy, man. Like if you watch the tape on Ribeiro, he's fighting Valenzuela. Ribeiro, he comes out like literally, and he's just all or nothing in the first round. He's there to be killed or kill or be killed. I think about minus 230 fight doesn't go to decision. I would parlay that with the Jose Johnson Cartwright fight not to go to decision. And if you parlay those two fights not to go to decision, you'll get about even money. I think that's the way to go, man. Because honestly, Ribeiro, he's first round of bust. Like you'll watch this dude. He's a little stocky dude, and he comes out just swinging these crazy haymakers. And if he connects, he's gonna knock this dude out. But I think that the Venezuela kid, Valenzuela, I think he is the more. I don't think he is the more technical fighter. He has a Muay Thai background. So either guy's live for a first round knockout, but I think Ribeiro is definitely first round or bust. I don't see how that fight goes the distance. And then the Cartwright, he's the 130. He was the 135 Cage Warriors champion. His last fight, he was getting his ass whooped in his last fight in his title defense over in Cage Warriors, and the dude just kept headbutting him, and he was on his way to losing his title, but defended his title by disqualification due to headbutts. And he's fighting a guy in Jose Johnson. Jose Johnson was formerly on the Contender Series. Yep. He lost to Ronnie Lawrence on the Contender Series. And since then, Mo Williams was the guy that everybody wanted to see get signed off of the Contender Series. But Jose Johnson actually finished him in his last fight. And if Cartwright loses this fight, I think somebody might get fired because they opened him as a minus 400 favorite. And he's been bet down to like a plus 10 underdog.
Damn.
I'm not sure I really like a side. Excuse me. I'm not really sure I like betting the side because Jose Johnson, he's going to have the striking advantage, in my opinion. He's longer, but his durability is in question. And so I think he's a kill or be killed guy. So I think that fight, someone's getting knocked out. Now, for a straight bet, the only straight bet that I really like on this card, because, this card is, I think it's going to be fireworks. And I think it's going to be explosive. There's going to be there's a lot of variance in these fights because these guys are some guys like low level competition. But if I were to pick one straight bet on this card, I would go with Cohen. She actually trained with Miranda Maverick, main training partners, both fighting this week. And she fought most of her career out of LFA, made the switch to Invicta, head kick knockouts. She's a former gymnast. She's fighting a girl in Brazilian Liti, and she likes to spam takedowns, but every fight she seems to gas herself out. The Liti girl, the Brazilian, and so I like Cohen, and she's about a -140 favorite.
That's your kind of line.
Yeah. So she's about a -140 favorite. I think she has the athleticism. I think she has a striking advantage, and she has great cardio. And she's been training at elevation with some good training partners like Miranda Maverick. So, yeah, if Cohen would be my straight pick of the week for White Contender Series.
Good stuff. And I like, as you talked about, I'll link it all below in the lower third. But there's the Contender Series, folks, plays. That's probably going to be tonight when you're watching this tomorrow. So make sure to cash in on that early. Let's actually fast forward here to the more exciting stuff. UFC 278. That's what people are coming here to watch.
Let's do it.
I got some plays I like. I'll ask you about them. We'll work our way down from the lesser exciting fights to the more exciting fights. And then I'll ask you some questions at the end. One of those fighters I'll ask you about Miranda Maverick, like you just mentioned. So let's start at more the bottom of the card, early prelims. Should be a main card fight. This is a banger. AJ Fletcher coming in at a -150 against Ange Loja, +130. I'm all over AJ Fletcher here, man. -150 is my kind of play. I have a feeling that line's actually going to close for whatever reason, but I think AJ's the more durable fighter. He's got the heavy hands. He's a great wrestler training with Dustin Poirier. We saw him almost beat Semmisberger in his last matchup, his debut. Other side, Loja, the older fighter. He's got a chin. He's durable. I just don't see him being able to keep up with Fletcher's pace, the power, the wrestling. I think this line should be way wider. I think AJ Fletcher should be a -200, not understanding the -140, -150. So I'm going to cash it. What are your thoughts?
See, I'm a little bit reluctant, to be honest with you, man. Like, Losa, he has a 7-inch reach advantage in the fight. He is losing to good guys. AJ Fletcher, his loss to Semmisberger hasn't aged extremely well. I didn't think Semmisberger looked very good in his last fight, but I do agree with you. I think his Losa's last win was against John Howard, which was like 48
a while ago.
So, yeah, I think. I would wait to if I was looking at it, I might wait to see if the line closes a little bit closer, but. I do see the angle. He is a younger, fresher guy. It's just, guys with 6-inch reach advantage or more historically win about 65% of the time. So that is a little bit worrisome. Both guys are still new to the UFC. But AJ Fletcher, he does have some good guys, around him, training down in Louisiana under Tim Crater. To me, it's a close fight. Maybe I need to look into it a little bit more, but it's a close fight in my opinion. I think Angelo said he's a tough dude. We've seen what Jack Maddalena has been doing, he was able to eat his shots. He's a tough guy, but you don't get credit for defense, so being tough isn't enough. And I do think Fletcher probably have a wrestling advantage, and so. Right now, for me, it might be dog or pass, but
okay,
that's just the way I leave it this time.
So we'll watch the line. We'll see where it goes. We might hit it later in the week. That's why it's the early leans,
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I would do. I would just wait to see because I do hear people on the Loza side, and so we'll see if they put their money where their mouth is and the line closes a little.
Yes, sir. Love it. All right, so let's move on here. This is a fight everybody's excited for, including myself. We got the King of Rio, debatably the bantamweight GOAT, Jose Aldo, coming in at a +105 against Merab Dvalishvili. I get it. Merab's a great wrestler. He's a beast. He trains with Aljo and those guys over there. I get it. Okay. I think the line should be flipped here, man. Aldo, he's Jose freaking Aldo. He's the best striker in bantamweight, debatably. He's still got the chin. He's still got the power, the speed, all of it, the fight IQ. We've seen Merab be chinny lately, even though he can, give it back. He's still got some chin issues, even if he can wrestle through it. I don't think he's going to be able to lay on top of Aldo like he lays on top of people, man. I think Aldo's got enough experience and enough grappling experience that he's going to be able to stop the takedowns and at least get up quickly and outstrike him. It's a 3-round fight. I think that kind of favors Merab maybe, but I like as long as Aldo stays a dog, I'm hitting it. Are you on the same boat?
I actually, I have the Patreon and everything, but I'm just gonna, I reveal. I mean, I'm on Aldo as well. I mean, the guy, he's the greatest featherweight of all time. Still,
or featherweight. I said bantamweight. I meant featherweight.
Volkanovski and Max Holloway both probably say that. The guy, to me, the greatest, like anti-wrestler. Like he probably has the best takedown defense, not just in UFC history, but I would say in MMA history. Dvalishvili, he also does not have the best top control. He gets so many takedowns for a reason because guys are getting back up.
Very good point.
I don't think he has the best defense. Although he's been training with that ever since he's been training with that boxing club down in Brazil, they're the Brazilian national team, or I think they're a Brazilian, maybe naval team or something. I mean, his boxing looks so much better. I mean, the body shots. I think this fight is the difference between some control time for Merab versus versus the damage. I think that Aldo will accrue over. I think he'll get at least 2 of the 3 rounds. Personally, I think this being 3 rounds may favor Aldo because I maintain that if the Cheeto fight would have been 5 rounds, that Cheeto might have ended up finishing Aldo. Aldo's gas tank isn't what it used to be. Even though, against Rob Font, Font was out volume him. His power, man,
still there.
And it's translated well to 135. He's looking great at 135. So.
And dude, everyone, when he hopped over to 135 a year or 2 ago, whenever it was, I remember everyone on Twitter was like, "Yo, he looks like a skeleton. He's done. We're gonna see," and he looks great.
Yeah, dude, everyone was on. Like, I still remember everyone saying Marlon by first round KO. Marlon.
Me too.
Yeah, and to me, Aldo. The guy used to be dragged to the scales at 145. He could not. Like, he was literally being helped to the scales at 145. Like, whoever his doctor is, I've heard it's a female. Like, this lady's amazing. Like, yeah. I don't know if he wasn't taking the 145-pound weight cut seriously. I know he owns a bunch of burger joints or like a burger franchise in Brazil. Yeah. Maybe he was, but
pounded away.
Have to be carried to this. He was almost passing out at weigh-ins at 145, and now at 135, it's like, he's brought down the strength and the power with him. I thought he edged that Marlon fight. But like I said, everyone was like first round KO for Marlon, and Marlon, landed that head kick early, and Aldo took it. And it was a close fight. And outside of which he looked good versus Jan early, it was a competitive fight, but Jan drowned him. But I still think Aldo's looked really good at 135. And this fight actually sets up something interesting to me because I really wanted to see Aldo versus Aljo because I would have bet the shit out of Aldo in that fight. But let's say Aldo beats Merab, right? And let's say Aljo beats TJ. Now it's a revenge fight for Aljo.
That fight's happening, yeah.
It's like a revenge fight because now Aldo's beating his teammate in Merab. But if TJ wins and Aldo wins, I've been wanting to see that fight forever. Aldo versus TJ.
Oh yeah.
And then also it could be a revenge fight for Merab if he ends up beating Aldo and Aldo loses, then Merab might get the next title shot against TJ, and that could be a revenge fight.
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting, but yeah, Aldo in the spot.
Awesome, man. Love that we're on the same page there. Knock on some wood around me, but safe underdog bet for me. So let's move on here to my. No, go ahead.
No, like I said, obviously it's a risky play, but we're playing the numbers game here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, there's like a 45, 46% chance you're going to lose this fight. But I just think long term, this is the right play.
I totally agree, man.
So.
Definitely worth a decent little sprinkle. So oppositely of a decent little sprinkle, I have a max bet this weekend. I don't know if I told you this yet. I think I did, but I have a max bet, and I've only had one or two max bets this year. I've hit them both. I don't remember off the top of my head who they were, but have a max bet. It is a parlay. I am parlaying Mr. minus 350 Kamaru Usman with minus 315 Paulo Costa. That comes out to a minus 145. I got on that a little bit early. I cashed it at like a minus 122. That's why it's a max bet for me. But Kamaru going up against Leon Edwards is a plus 290. Costa going up against Luke Rockhold is a plus 260. I'm so confident in both these guys. I think Leon Edwards has really grown since their first meeting 6 years ago, however long it was. I think Usman's grown more. Usman's wrestling is the best in the division. Not many can rival it except for Colby. That's why we saw them stand up. But then we saw Kamaru really improve on the feet. I think Kamaru is going to win this fight almost anywhere it goes. And I think he's going to be able to get Leon to the mat if Leon's winning on the feet. On the other side of things, when it comes to Costa and Rockhold hasn't won a fight since, I don't have it in front of me. I think it's 2017. He's got knocked out like 3 times in a row. Costa's been great lately, other than his, weight mishap nonsense with Vettori. I think a safe bet here, to be honest, is Costa by knockout. I'll have a small play there too. But when it comes to the money lines, if you can get Costa and Usman in a parlay, anything minus 150, man, I don't see any reason not to throw down on that.
Yeah, it's hard for me to disagree with you. I mean, we'll go with the Costa fight first. First of all, Luke Rockhold, I know Costa with this mishaps his last fight, fighting Vettori, coming in, just basically demanding that the fight's going to be up at 205, showing up way overweight.
Yeah.
But in that fight, I mean, he was fighting a guy that is one of the most durable guys in the UFC, and Vettori. And I honestly thought that if Vettori got through if it went through like the first couple rounds, that Vettori would end up getting the finish, because I thought Costa would just end up gassing himself out badly.
Yeah.
But I think he made it through that fight. And, Luke Rockhold has not made 185. And you might want to double check this, but I'm pretty sure the last time he made 185 was February 2018.
That's correct. Yep.
It's over 4 years ago that he's made 185.
And it's not like he's 24 years old. He's up there. Like 4 years when you're 35 plus, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And the thing is that, he's still, I watched some of his sparring, and like he goes crazy in sparring too, but he's still dropping that right hand. And Costa is powerful with the left hand as well. I mean, he's not just right hand dominant. I mean, this guy comes in, and he throws vicious combinations. And I mean, the only way I see Rockhold winning this fight is if he's able to get it to the mat and on top. I mean, the guy is amazing on the ground and amazing on top. And that's not something I think he's lost. But I just don't understand. I don't see how he gets it there. I mean, it took Weidman doing some crazy, stupid spinning kick for him to get Weidman, for that all to unravel for Weidman. I don't see how he can get it to the ground. And then I'm more confident in Costa's his cardio these days than I am. I mean, Rockhold gassed himself out trying to get Jan down, and I know that was at 205, and he was carrying a lot of weight and muscle. But he has some really nice kicks from the outside. But he's so many injuries to his. I mean, even his legs have been injured. I don't know how many times he's going to want to kick Costa's forearms. I mean, I wouldn't doubt if he tried to kick Costa and Costa blocked it with a forearm and Luke goes down with a broken leg. I mean, honestly, it's hard. I think the odds should be wider, to be honest with you. I mean, anything can happen. It's MMA, but
yeah.
I think even at minus 300, because I don't give Luke a 20% chance of winning.
No,
so that would be minus 400. So I think there's still. I can understand your parlay, but I think Costa by KO is probably the play.
I agree, man. I'm going to throw it on that too, along with the parlay, just as a little kicker. Like, as you said, it is MMA. Anything can happen. That's why we're calling it gambling. We're not calling it winning, but
Right.
yeah, it's a pretty safe play in my opinion. What are your thoughts on the other side of that parlay, Usman?
The thing about Leon, like Leon's a great striker. He has that great straight left hand. He's a good grappler himself. He's improved a lot. You know, he was only, I think, 23 years old, 22 when they first fought. But you know, it was Usman's, you know, only second fight in the UFC. It was his first fight after winning the Ultimate Fighter. I know he's 35, so Leon is going to have a 5-year age advantage. But how I see this fight playing out, I think it's going to be relatively close early. But Leon, I've noticed that even when Leon's able to dictate the pace of fights, he can still slow down. Like I've seen him slow down in fights.
Against Nate, perfect example.
Yeah, and you know, a Cowboy he slowed down. I mean, it's just I've seen him slow down in fights, and I think one thing he has going for him is I think he does rise to the level of this competition. But I just think I think Usman's gonna wear him down, and the takedowns may be a little bit tough early, but I think you know. And another thing, Leon. I mean, he's great with those elbows in the clinch, so you know Usman may be hesitant to push him up against like you know a lot of cage pushing and things like that. But eventually, I think Usman is going to be in the southpaw stance because he has a great jab from both stances, but in a southpaw stance, his jab hand is going to be his power, you know, his right hand. And I think he's going to try to occupy that lead left of that straight left of Leon. And I wouldn't be surprised if Usman caught him on the feet and knocked him out. But I think he's just going to wear him down. And as the fight goes, I think the takedowns will come easier. And I expect Usman to probably get him out of there by ground and pound in the fourth or fifth round.
Yeah, that's what you sent in our little group chat earlier, and I agree there too, man. I think Usman by knockout, TKO, or decision to get that line down could be a good one. I think that's sitting at like a -180 right now. Yeah, I think Usman and Costa are both pretty safe plays. I don't see Leon beating Usman. I'm one of the people that loves Leon. Like I'm like a silent Leon fan because that's the only fans he has. We're all quiet. No, I don't think he's getting it done.
Great, man. I mean, he's a great fighter. You know, it's just he fights and he happens to fight like guys closer than he should. You know, and you know, it's just another one of those things. Also, it's like if this fight happens to be close, they're gonna end up giving it to Usman, even if maybe Leon edges it. You know, I just have a hard time seeing how Leon wins the fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, you can catch Usman. He's at a -350 on DraftKings, but I think he was like a -210 not long ago. So I wouldn't count on that line staying that large. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will be, but I think you could find him smaller on other books too if you want to hit it single.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really I'm not too much in the business of playing -350 straight, but
me neither.
You know,
That's not our thing.
But yeah.
To each their own.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, Leon. Obviously it's MMA. You know, he's gotten better since since their first fight. But I think Usman has also made a lot of gains, and just the game planning of Trevor Whitman, the game plan, like Usman's so mentally strong. He's a great competitor, and I think his fight IQ, the way he's able to adapt in fights, and just his mental strength is probably his greatest asset. And I'm not saying Leon doesn't have those assets as well. It's just I don't think it's his time yet. Like Usman has said.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm glad to hear we're pretty much on the same page for all my plays. It makes me feel a little bit better. So that's great. I want to do something a little bit differently here. I didn't tell you we were going to do this because I kind of just thought of this idea a couple minutes ago. And I think it's a good idea. I told you I have some questions about fights. There are 3 favorites that are big favorites. I like them all to win. Together, it's a +101 parlay. I'm not going to play it, but I still want your thoughts on these 3 favorites. I'm going to go one by one here, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds to give me your elevator pitch for each of these fights. All right. And when we get down to 10 seconds, I'm going to count you down like this. Like you only got 10 seconds left. Okay. It's going to be quick. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hectic.
All right. Let's do it.
You ready for this shit? All right.
Let's do it.
First up, Miranda Maverick at a minus 440. Miranda Maverick minus 440. She's going up against Shanna Young plus 390.
Wow.
Go.
Miranda Maverick's a lock. She's a lock. She fought this girl. It was an exhibition over in Invicta. Submitted her quickly. Miranda Maverick was training, was literally studying to be get her PhD or something in my home city, over at my alma mater, Old Dominion University. She wasn't even professional, she's a professional fighter, but she wasn't even all in. So it's just a lot. It's a lot. Miranda Maverick probably submits her again, but Miranda Maverick's gonna win the fight.
You beat the 30 seconds. Love it. I'm with you there. Miranda Maverick beats this girl's butt. Okay, moving on. One of my favorite fighters in the UFC, King Kong Romanov, going up against Marcin Tybura, who I also love. So Romanov's coming in at a minus 435. Tybura's coming in at a plus 350. I think that line's kind of crazy, even though I love Romanov and I think he gets it done. I don't think he should be a freaking minus 435. Your 30 seconds starts now.
Yeah, I couldn't play Romanov at those numbers. The thing is, I think he wins, but there is still some cardio concerns if Tybura is able to get past the first round here. Tybura is a good grappler himself. Obviously, I don't think he's as good of a grappler as Romanov. Tybura, yeah, I think it's dog or pass, but I do lean with Romanov winning. That's a pure pick.
Cool, love it. I agree too. Even if I'm confident in Romanov winning, but Jesus, man, minus 430, that's crazy. Tybura's a sloppy fridge. He doesn't stop moving forward. It's horrifying. Yeah. Last one I have a question about. I might even give you a full minute for this one because I know he's your boy. Like I said, your boy. Jared Gordon, minus 275 against Leonardo Santos, plus 230. Again, I think Jared gets this dub. But a minus 275 against Leonardo Santos? Am I crazy to say that's a kind of drastic line? Your minute starts now.
All right, I'm going to tell you this. Me and Jared actually spoke about this fight back in February of 2019. He was actually offered Leo Santos and was supposed to fight him, and Leo Santos pulled out. And guess who ended up fighting? Charles do Bronx in Brazil. Now, I guarantee you, if this fight would have happened back in February of 2019, this line would be completely flipped. I guarantee you that. I'm not saying my boy, I'm still going to go with my boy, but I guarantee the line would be flipped. There was actually an article I read, and Leo Santos actually started out his UFC career undefeated, but he was fighting once every couple of years. And there was actually an article that said Leo Santos could be the one guy that might actually beat Khabib because of the skill set he possessed on the feet, knocking out Stevie Ray and his third-degree jiu-jitsu black belt. But he's 42 years old now. My boy's going to wear him down. Third round TKO, Jared Gordon. Let's go.
Love it, man. Yeah, dude, I love Jared Flash Gordon. He's the homie, dude. And like I said, you guys are tight. So, there might be a little bias there, but I don't care. Yeah. We'll look past the bias.
But he's also in the best shape of his life. Hey, I'm not saying I'm not advocating anything except for, like I said, I'm completely biased, so I have no money in the race, but my boy's gonna get it done.
Let's go, bro. So like I said, if you're interested in playing those three favorites, we do think they're all going to win, even if the lines are wild, but that's a plus 101 parlay. Something to think about. Donny, before we get out of here, I want to give you the opportunity. I actually just got the notification. We only have 10 minutes left, so make it a little bit quicker than that. I just want to give you the opportunity. Is there a fight that I didn't mention that we didn't talk about yet that you really like the line, that you really like the bet that you want to talk about?
No, not yet. No. I mean, Aldo is my guy, man. I'm looking forward to Aldo and Jared this weekend. That's the two fights that I want to see Aldo versus TJ so bad, but I also want to see Aldo beat the crap out of Aldo really badly. So it's a win-win for me as long as Aldo wins. So I wish Aldo wouldn't have taken this fight, to be honest with you, because I thought there was an outside chance that Aldo could fight Aldo. And, man, I just think that's a horrible fight for Aldo because I don't see how he gets Aldo down. And
I agree.
Yeah, but
well,
yeah,
I'm glad you didn't say another fight, because that gives me a perfect opportunity to say, go follow this man on Patreon. Go give him your money so he can make you more money. I will link that below. But yeah, man, I follow his Patreon. I give him some dough, and guess what? He's made me a lot more dough than I've given him. So definitely a good follow, people. Trust me. I fucks with MMA. Donny, that's pretty much all I got. It's late here. I want to go to bed. So I'm going to probably wrap it there, my man. But thank you so much for joining me. I have a really good feeling about this card coming off of a big loss last weekend. So keep in touch with both of us. Keep following us. Stay tuned for all of our picks and bets. I'll release my bets bet article on Friday. Donny always has his picks going fresh and live on his Patreon. So check us out, people. We trying to dish it to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Starts tomorrow, ends this weekend. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Donny, thank you so much, my man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir.